Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to go talk about all the kind of restocks that happened throughout this week, and more so kind of the lack thereof them, and kind of how at this current point when it comes to these restocks, it kind of seems like everything's kind of falling apart. So we're going to talk about a few little various things on this one up on the YouTube channel, so if you guys will stay tuned and enjoy. As well, if you guys want to go and chime in on your thoughts, opinions, and all that stuff, feel free to, if you guys would like to, throughout the video itself. And like I said, we had a little bit more of a somewhat chiller week. Granted, I was also sick all throughout this week, and granted, we also had some pretty cool game announcements, at least, like some console stuff, new games coming out, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, we did kind of have a pretty chill and pretty quiet restocking week, which, as you guys probably know, is kind of the bigger thing for our channel, too. So it's kind of like, well, kind of a rough week just overall. So a lot of stuff to go talk about. At least we have some good news tied on in. So let's go and talk about it in general. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 itself. Target links too as well. And keep on being on the lookout for those Best Buy sides. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream as well down below. And let's go dive in the video itself. So this week, we kind of had nothing crazy. So, as you guys have probably seen, even as I've been pausing my videos, I have had a little bit of a cold ever since I came back from my trip, which has not been the funnest experience. I'll be fully honest with that one. But what else can you kind of go and do when it comes to that? But for this, I don't think we saw almost a single big proper restock all throughout this week. Now, maybe I missed the times or whatever, but last week we had Best Buy. That was kind of cool. We also had Walmart like 3 weeks ago. Nothing as of this week, well, literally at all. Like nothing for consoles, nothing for stock, nothing for arrivals, nothing for kind of like anything. When it came to GameStop, still ever since they did their proper like Horizon bundles that happened around like 2 weeks ago, I'd say at this point, give or take. Even since then, haven't really seen pretty much, well, kind of anything. We kind of wish we could poke them alive and like, you know, have them do literally something. There is no PlayStation bundles, even though I think a lot of us don't even like the bundles in the first place. But at least if we would have had something, it would have been nice. And I think kind of the big focus, I think, throughout this past week or so especially, has been more so on the Best Buy and Target side, for both of those big bad boys over there. So that's kind of been like the only kind of big major focus we had throughout this week. And it kind of goes and brings me to like the, I guess, somewhat topic. Granted, we'll still be watching stuff throughout this weekend. We'll still be watching for walk-ins. We'll probably have some updates tomorrow morning. We're going to reach out to some folks now. Weekends are usually better as well when it comes, you know, for proper walk-ins and places getting stock and even rumors and stuff like that. But like, it kind of goes to show that sometimes, like, how do normal people nowadays even go get consoles? Now, before we'd have like, you know, the occasional Walmart restock. Great. Like, that's awesome. That would be cool. You have the Walmart Plus. You sign up for it, you make sure you sign up at the proper time, you go from there. Or say for this week, we did have the Amazon, if you guys don't know, make sure you guys are signed on up for the invitations for Amazon itself. But as you guys all probably know, we just have been awkwardly kind of sitting there waiting just for them to send out more emails. Now, they did go and send out 2 emails this week, which is nice, but of course this is not like a huge restock where 40,000-50,000 consoles are being released all at once. It's more of like, hey, Tim from accounting got lucky and somehow finally got his console after all this time. Oh, okay, cool. And then we're all just awkwardly sitting there being like, well, when is it going to be our turn? When are we going to get our consoles? When is the hookup going to happen? So I just want to mainly talk about the fact that it seems like all these like locations have gotten to the point where they're just not doing too good. Now, when it comes to Target, Target's just random. Like, this is why I'm kind of saying I feel like it's hard for normal folks just to get their consoles unless they're just extremely lucky. Target is just, whenever there's random stock, we'll go release stock. Like, does anyone else kind of feel like that just seems kind of awful? Like, at the end of the day, you want to make sure you could actually have something going on. Like, at least for Walmart, like I said, you have like a 3 p.m. EST drop at some point. People know to show up. People know to buy Walmart Plus. People know to get their consoles. Sure, like, cool, it can kind of work out. Or say for PS Directs, they get the email, and they're like, hey, show up at 2 p.m. We'll go check your emails then. Hopefully you'll have a good chance to get some stock and consoles. Like, to me, that makes sense. Like, I'm cool with that. That's normal. But when I have stuff like this Target, how it used to be back in the day, it'd be like, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, we might have a chance to get a console. Like, it might go live, but at least it would be live nationwide, everywhere, all at the same time. And I've talked about this on my channel before. I do kind of miss these kind of proper good event drops because I kind of feel like now that like it's just sporadic. So say for like Best Buy, even for our earlier video, if you guys missed that, we have been seeing Best Buy getting stock. Like we have been seeing Best Buy receiving consoles. We have been seeing, like now they have the new PlayStation 5 Horizon bundles. And like some people were using either the app glitch or checking the stores and they were able to get their consoles and get their stock. Like that's good. We like that. But like once again, that's just like you have maybe one person who's lucky in a state, and then you get maybe like, I don't know, maybe a lucky store and 20 people get it. But like how do normal people that are just normal day-to-day working class folks, like just normal nice homies like you guys, how do you get your consoles? Like how do you even find it? And I'm someone who does a lot of the tracking for this stuff. Like I'm watching the tweets and we're watching the messages or looking for APIs or even sometimes get employee contacts. And we've told you guys throughout the week, we've had like Best Buy that had stock in the West Coast. So we're now starting to see more West Coast, and we probably will see more West Coast stuff throughout this weekend. Like it'll be nice. Like hopefully some folks will get consoles. But it's like, how do normal people that are just casually getting their stuff and casually want to get a PlayStation and casually want to get their consoles, how are they even supposed to keep on getting it? Like I kind of miss these like proper drops, and I kind of miss these locations getting stock, and I kind of miss these places actually being somewhat normal, where normal people can get their consoles. And I do think a big thing still is on the Target, because it does seem like Target still is pretty heavily botted. I wouldn't mind making a more proper video on that in the near future. But like, dude, it's just so weird to go and see all this stuff, because Target, like, people check and people still get it. Like I see pictures, I see people getting hyped up for it, but it's almost kind of hard to see like what the preemptive, I guess, measure it is to see like who even gets it. Because like, say for me, I made a video in for my area in Chicago, and like 3 stores had stock. So was I just potentially super lucky right then and there for having a chance to get my console because I checked at a good time? At this point, honest to God, maybe that was what happened. And then, or maybe I'm just unlucky and maybe someone checks for 3 months and they still can't actually go and get their consoles. So it just almost seems like it's like almost impossible nowadays just to even get consoles and get stock. Like it's really not good. Like, it stinks. Like, I really generally, like, it makes me feel awkward trying to be like, well, guys, keep on checking if you want. Because people still get it. Like, people still get the stock, and people still get the hookup, and people still, get it, but it's not as good. And now, throughout the rest of the week, we did have a few other, like, locations. Like, I know Antonline was actually kind of a clutch player. Like, they actually did 2 drops online. But like I said, in terms of really big, proper stuff, like, we didn't see a Best Buy drop. Although we saw them last week, which, I mean, maybe leftover stock or whatever. Or, for the walk-ins, like we mentioned, those still been going on. But it just kind of almost is, like, somewhat demoralizing, because it's like, we used to at least have some sort of, like, I guess, like, expectations when it comes to stock and, like, maybe what's watching drops, et cetera, but, like, it really is kind of just so harder nowadays for just a normal person to get their console. Just a lot harder for a normal person to get their stock. And that's why I think it's kind of like my heart kind of goes out to people still watching, because like I'll have people tweeting me and be like, bro, when even is the next drop? Or like you go and be like, well, I keep on checking Target every morning for the past 2 months and I still haven't had a chance to see anything. And it really is kind of disheartening, if you kind of look at all the folks out there getting it. Because at least before, when we'd have like, we're waiting for Target, like we're getting stock arrivals, like life's going good. Like people were excited. I was excited because we knew that there was going to be a drop for everyone. And it wasn't an awkward like, well, maybe if you're in like Nova Scotia and maybe South Carolina, you might be able to go find some stock, versus rather it being fully like, hey guys, just check every store, 7 a.m., be on the lookout. So like I said, it just seems almost impossible nowadays to get a console. Now, we still have people like, like I said, people are still getting stock. People are still getting checkouts. People are still seeing stuff. Throughout this week, we still didn't see Costco drop, so we could watch for it. We didn't see any PlayStation Directs, so we could watch for it for this upcoming next week, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll see more open drops. A lot of these locations are now on the overdue side, so think like Walmart, think like Amazon, and think, like some of the places like GameStop. Like, they're getting more to the overdue side, which is also nice. But it really does kind of show that this week has been a really rough week. And the past, 3 weeks have been really strange, too, as well. But at least on the bright side, we had a pretty nice big wave of stock right before everything happened. Right before, I went on my little trip and, got a cold. And, it just stinks, because I just hope that a lot of you guys watching this video can still go get your console sooner rather than later, because I don't like these impossible drops. I don't like the rarities of all these locations, and it's like we're still seeing stock, as I mentioned, but just hasn't been as good as we'd expect. So I don't know, kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below, and as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream down below. We have the Amazon links down below. Do your signups and the Target as well. And hopefully we'll start getting back in a good groove of restocks soon.